Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the New York Times' Cities for Tomorrow conference, our annual gathering of the nation's top urban leaders and policymakers and social entrepreneurs. You are a powerful and an influential audience, including leading professionals from an array of industries, from food to the environment, nonprofit to the arts, as well as policymakers and other influencers, all committed to creating and advancing more efficient, more inclusive, and more sustainable cities. This year's conference will be hosted by some of the best and brightest journalists at the Times. And last night, many of you heard from executive editor Dean Baquet, who talked with David Simon and George Pelecanos, creators of the critically acclaimed HBO show The Wire, and their upcoming series, The Deuce, on the tough times that Times Square went through in the 70s and 80s. You also heard from Genia Bellafante, our big city columnist, discuss the importance of dynamism and density and diversity in today's urban cities with Matt Tiernow, director of Citizen Jane, Battle for the City, which we screened thanks to the generosity of the Rockefeller Foundation. Joining them in that discussion was Michael Berkowitz, president of 100 Resilient Cities. So we have a rich program in store for you today, and later you're going to hear from Mark Lacey, who is our national editor, and who has held leadership positions at the Times in a number of domestic and international bureaus, from Phoenix to Washington to Mexico City to Nairobi. Needless to say, Mark knows a lot about cities. Alexander Jacobs, the editor and critic here at the Times, will be engaged in what I'm sure will be a most interesting discussion with actor John Leguizamo and Moonlight co-writer Terrell Alvin McCriney, as they shape how their experience growing up in cities, how their experience growing up in cities shaped their creative visions. Jennifer Steinhauer is our congressional correspondent, having previously served as our LA bureau chief. During her tenure at the Times, she's covered Brooklyn, City Hall, and city politics, and in 2005, New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina. But she is also an accomplished food writer, and she'll be in conversations with Momofuku's David Chang and Jonathan Butler of Smorgasburg, discussing the important role that food plays in the economies and the culture of New York City and other cities around the country. They will be joined by your host for this event, Adam Bryant, who writes our very popular corner office column each Sunday. And Adam also serves as editorial director of live journalism, overseeing the programming of all of our conferences like this. Now, shortly, you're going to hear from Genia again as she talks with Greg Stanton, the mayor of Phoenix, and Bill Weld, the former governor of Massachusetts, about the challenges local leaders face as they govern amid state and federal divisions. Finally, I'd like to take a moment to thank our Resilient Cities supporter, the Rockefeller Foundation, without whom this conference really would not have been possible. And many thanks to all of them for their generous support. And lastly, my thanks also go to Dorothea Harry, the Senior Vice President of NY Times Live, and her team, who have done an extraordinary job in organizing and programming today's event. I encourage you to go to the NYT Live website to learn more about the other great events our conference team has in store. So let's get started. Again, I want to tell you I appreciate very much all of you joining us, and we're confident that you're going to find today's program and discussions invigorating, enlightening, and informative. And now I'd like to welcome to the stage Mayor Greg Stanton and Bill Weld and our esteemed big city columnist, Genia Bellafante. Thank you so much for being here, and enjoy your day.